Arsenal won, Spurs got out of jail again, just like against Marseille and Bournemouth, like to again against Leeds. Yeah! Second half FC this time. It weren't pretty. We didn't play to our maximum, but we played well. We got 3 points. Martin Odegaard double. If he's in your FPL team, you're laughing. Martinelli proved decisive in an action, as did Zinchenko and Fabio Vieira. We bust case. Let's be honest. I Neves talking to Jesus. Pattern that, Jesus. Agent Jesus. Edu, where are you? Pattern that. Some, I didn't see it, so I can't comment on it. But some may have said there should have been a penalty shout. Potentially, Wolves have done all right. There should have been a penalty shout on another day. Saliba's back pass, couple nervy ones from Zinchenko come back to bite us. And we go into the international period. Well, I say international period, World Cup in the best possible way. We've won the game. Allegedly, I haven't checked the league table, sit top of the table. Let's go to Dubai, work very hard, and kick on next season. Well, I say next season, next year. Because December and January, it's not nice for us. North London derby to come, West Ham to come. Not tough game, them. But there's no easy games in the Prem. Wolves, I think there's a lot to build on, but ultimately you saw why they're struggling because they don't look like they can score goals. Their problem today looked like once they touch the final third, they're not really on nothing per se. I cannot complain about how our fixtures have worked out so far this season. I can't either. As I always say, from August, all I care about is making it to December, in and about with a top 4 shout or, the talking points that have arisen this season so far. We've done that. The season isn't done yet. Now we need that's 14 games played. Let's target what are we saying after the 2025 game mark? Let's keep going. Let's just keep going. Don't count our chickens before they hatch. It's another tough away game, and we've done well, man. And our away form is starting to give man a little confidence, man. We've gone to some tough grounds. Unfortunately, we let ourselves down, against Southampton and United, but it definitely was more scary against Leeds. We did that. We've come here today. Obviously, during the games against Brentford and Palace, we made little work of them. But prior to the game, they were built up as difficult games, which they were. There's no easy games in the Premier League. Obviously, our home form, I think Arsenal fans were definitely as more confident away from home as we've ever been. But at home, we can beat anyone. When I say beat anyone, we can give anyone a game. Whether we want to let ourselves down or not is another thing. But there's still a lot of tests, bro. I don't want to play Newcastle at home or away. We've got them. They beat Chelsea today. We've still got to go Etihad. We've still got to go Anfield. We've still got to go Brighton. We've still got to go. Listen, we'll be here all day in it. There's a lot of tough games. There's a lot of twists and turns. And this is why we keep having to take your chances and win games. Because when we do have them F-ups and slip-ups, you've given yourselves floorings. Just like where we've lost against United, dropped 2 points against Southampton. That's already 4 points drop that could cost us. But right now, 5 points clear of City. Better goal difference. 14 games left. A lot of football to be played. 37 points. 8 points clear of Spurs in fourth. United played tomorrow. They played 13 games. They got 2 games in hand. So they're probably looking to close the gap to between 3 points with Spurs. Newcastle are a problem that won't go away. So I say overperforming because a lot of us didn't expect this in August. But as long as we keep picking up results and overperforming, Bob is your uncle. Everybody's calm, really, really and truly. If I'm completely honest with you, this is what we need to keep doing. Again, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't necessarily pretty. So yeah, man, what did you lot make of the game? For me personally, if we go all the way back to the first half, obviously, ultimately, we just weren't doing enough in the final third. At a period, a couple of times, Jesus has had efforts which would have proved futile because they were offside. There was a couple of glancing headers. We weren't really, doing anything in the final third. I think Wolves' back three set up quite well. They forced us backwards, side to side. Our key players, the Odegaards, the Sakas, they were having to drop very deep in possession, didn't it, really? And that was that. We just needed a bit more intention to improve the tempo, ultimately testing Sarr, which didn't really happen in the first half. At times, it was very congested from Wolves. On the counter-attack defensive transition, especially on Zinchenko's side, it did look a bit scary at times, but we got over there. On another day, Wolves' counter-attack could cause us issues, but you can see why they're not necessarily prolific in front of goal. I did think after the 20-minute mark, Wolves started to grow in confidence a bit more. They were a bit flattery to us. Obviously, Jesus probably would have been offside, but he cracked the crossbar. That was all there was. So at halftime, all our thought is we need to create more chances. We need to up the tempo. And I think we needed to win the first and second balls a lot better, especially the second, because someone's going to win the first, and we're waiting for Matinho and all of them guys to bring it down under control. And there was a couple of, Buki back pass from Saliba, couple of brain farts from Zinchenko, though I think he was good today. I think everyone was good today, if I'm honest with you, as you can see via the timestamps. We just need to do a lot better. I did think second half we came out with a bit more of what you wanted to see. There was a bit more intention that you could see it from ODEGAARD, Fabio Vieira, Zinchenko. I think Partey quietly went about his business. On another day, should get man of the match. He's not going to get that because obviously ODEGAARD's done well. I think Jesus has done well. Yeah, man, we just upped the tempo. Obviously, we got the goals. Again, Martinelli's not having the best of games, but he's proved decisive in one of the actions. Credit to Fabio Vieira, Zinchenko, and Martinelli taking advantage of that young sub right back who's come on and looked overruled by the occasion. And like I said, if to win the lottery, you got to buy a raffle ticket. And I like the fact that simply ODEGAARD, he probably stole it off Saka, but they're both in the box. There's a lot of the times in the first half, balls are being put in and no one's there. So we've taken the lead. Obviously, the second goal, we've also done very well as well to get the second, and ODEGAARD to get his second as well, after Martinelli's done also well in that as well. Fabio Vieira and Jesus probably take credit for the first. Martinelli's played quite well. Zinchenko for the second. Obviously, Martinelli's effort, it's a good save from Sarr. It's fallen to ODEGAARD. He slotted it home. He's given us breathing room. On another day, Wolves could score. But yeah, man, obviously you saw today, if you don't keep balls out the back of your net and you don't put them in the back of your opponents, you're going to be 20th for where you are. And I do think there's a lot of work Lopetegui has to do, but I don't think Wolves are a bad team. And I think there's many positives they can take. In many ways, they deserve to lose today, but it is what it is. As I said, for me, obviously, ultimately, it's not the prettiest game, but fundamentally the job's done. We did the job in the second half. We remain, we extend wherever we're at in the table. ODEGAARD with the goals, 6 goals for the season. We're spreading out the goals. He's got 6 goals so far. I'm not going to lie, in terms of improvements next season, for the second half of the season, which that's also another positive. We go into the World Cup with what we needed to do, bounce back from the disappointment against Brighton. We are going to need Jesus to score because we've got young players. They're going to fluctuate between scoring. ODEGAARD, he's putting up numbers, but he's not going to be a goal scorer forever. In the same way a keeper can be a modern day centre back almost in transition with playing at the back. He's got to be able to catch in it. We're going to need our goal scorers to keep scoring. But it's nice that Martinelli and Saka could kind of take the day off today, and someone's managed to put up with the goods in it. I think Zinchenko was brilliant today, minus the foul throws, minus quite frequently defensively. I did think they were going to score down the left-hand side. Obviously, I don't know the status on Xhaka's injury. I did think, could you put Tierney on and put El Nene in there? I did think Fabio Vieira took a while to get going, but he got going. And once he was involved in the first goal, he got a lot more confidence, in my opinion. So ultimately, 3 points, clean sheet, doing what we need to do, really. It is what it is now. We keep the good spirits going. We bounce back from midweek disappointment. We've only suffered 1 L going into December and a draw, 4 points dropped. If someone offered that to me or said that would be the case for Arsenal in August, we look at you like you're taking crazy drugs. So Mikel Arteta, young players are showing their age. Gabriel had to sweep up he had a couple bozo moments as well, but I think Gabriel swept up for Saliba quite well. Saliba I don't think he was bad, but a couple of times defensively wanted a bit more. I do think we looked a bit knackered in the second half, especially Ben White. He was really struggling to get back. And I think Jesus done what Jesus does. It's just he just needs to score. And I don't know when you're going to score. What's that, 10 games now? But you've proved decisive. But sometimes we're going to need you to score. I think he done very well in the second half. I can't give Thomas Partey enough credit. Ramsdale really had effort to do, but the things that he had to do, he took care of them. He took care of business. Ultimately, clean sheet, 3 points. Let's go off to Dubai and work on what we need to work on, because it's only the halfway point in the season. Nothing's been achieved yet. We're on the right road. We're following the sat-nav well. But we need that destination in May, which for me, minimum is Champions League football. And for some of you, again, in many ways, you have to define a title challenge. In many ways, every day is a challenge in the Premier League. But some of you are talking about title challenge. And I don't quite think we will be doing that. But you can only do what's in front of you. And I want this to remain a talking point where Arsenal are concerned, really. I definitely prefer that than what the usual pundits are going to say. But we've got a lot of tough tests to come. We've got a lot of tough away games. We've got a lot of tough games. And obviously in January, we probably need to buy a couple of players. We don't know the status on the players returning from the World Cup, but we'll deal with that and cross that bridge. Everything that we've had to do now, we've done it. And so far at the halfway point in the season, players are improving. Players are doing what they need to do. Collectively, we're showing more grit, heart, and determination. So I'm a happy man. I'm sure a lot of you are happy men and women out there, or children as well. So yeah, man, It is what it is. What more can you say? We move. Another 3 points. Could get used to this. Could get very used to this, if I'm completely honest. Extremely used to this. So yeah, it is what it is regarding that, folks, man. DG, in my lifetime, I love this feeling. Inshallah, we come out of the World Cup with no injuries, then strengthening Jan. I hear that. 5-point cushion. Is this the first time we're top going into Christmas? No, we did this in 07, 08. Apparently, there's been 5 times we've gone into into January. I mean, into Christmas top and failed to win the league. As I said, for me, I want top 4. But once that's mathematically impossible not to do, then maybe we could look at other things. Bro, Odegaard, like you said, brace on a cold night away from home. They said he can't do it. They said he can't do it. The haters will say he's playing against bottom of the league, but it is what it is, man. We move. Ramsdale and Odegaard. The only bad thing I would say with that is we probably could have scored more. Probably could have won by a lot more. Probably should have done what we did in the second half, in the first half. And obviously, you were all waiting to know the status on Granit Xhaka. So we'll have to see, man. But we do need to sign people. Arsenal have won the most away points from home in the Premier League this season. Newcastle are second. I mean, we're up there for goals. We're up there for scoring in games. We're up there for clean sheets. And the wickedest thing is, I think there's many gears to go up in terms of defensively and offensively, regardless of the stats. But we're doing well collectively and individually. There's a bunch of good stats there. So it's all right, man. Pardon me, I'm here for it. Zinchenko needs to start moving the ball quicker. I can see why Pep never played him in midfield. Do you know what it is with him? I think he moves it quickly, frequently, but I think he gets a bit too excited that we're playing football and it's like he's on holiday. And that's great. 1 goal conceded in the last 5 games. I'm here for that. Keep going. And again, now it's just about squad depth, because if Xhaka's not there, if Partey's not there, if Jesus ain't there, if Saka is not there, if Martin Odegaard's not there, then I hope players can step in. But there's issues, man. 10 games without a goal, the goals will rain in, man. Some of his performances have warranted goals. A lot of his goal drought, he's played very well without necessarily scoring. But ultimately, you want your striker to score goals. He wants to score goals. It's definitely going to be playing onto his mind. But it will happen, man. Blessings soon flow like a river, mate, like that Jamaican artist says. Happy with that. Do you think when Smith Rowe comes back, we can see him in the 8 role like Xhaka long term? Why not? Odegaard should be the top assist too as well, with the amount of chances the likes of Jesus have missed. Arsenal have the money, but it's our responsibility as fans to pressure them to spend heavily on quality. I mean, you can protest as much as you want outside the stadium. It's up to Edu. I don't disagree, but it's up to Edu, Kroenke, and Arteta to get their finger out, man, in that regard. And obviously, shout out to Joe Willett for scoring against them lot. I'm a Real Madrid fan, but I'm hoping you, man, win this thing because it's going to rattle so many fan bases. Jesus could play on the 9. He might find his way like that if we sign another striker, but you got to the end of the season. Shout out you lot, man, tuned in. Congrats. These are must-win games. Just need to keep going, man. I wouldn't quite say champagne football, but it's character. DG, all right, you won't be challenging for the title come the end of the season, but I would rather you won it than Man City's wins for the 3rd consecutive season. Big up you. How long after the World Cup does the Prem start? Well, I mean, the World Cup ends on the 20th, and we play on Boxing Day on the 26th. So 6 days. And had we have went through to I would have preferred to be in that scenario. Had we have went through to the next round of the Cup, we would have faced the prospect of having, I think we would have had to play that game. It probably would have been rescheduled, but we would have had to play that game. I think people were saying 2 days before we actually play West Ham. Yeah, he gets gas and starts to take the peak. He knows he's cold on the ball. Get Tomiyasu back, ditch this bum. Zinchenko definitely not a bum. Different games require different qualities. Definitely wouldn't refer to him as a bum. On another day, Zinchenko, maybe Gabriel, I'd say probably Saliba today. Their kind of brain farts could have cost us. Second half, Ben White went to sleep a lot of times on the recovery. He looked like and again, the World Cup boys, Martinelli, Saka, Ben White, them and they look tired second half. They look knackered, cream crackered, but I'm happy, man. I mean, Ben White, ultimate rattler. I love this stuff with the ref, man. They're going to. Jesus creating goals, don't need to score them. You do need to score. It's big up you for creating. You do need to score. It was a fact, keep doing what you're doing, but you do need to score. You was bought to score goals. Good play from Martinelli in the build up to this, man. And a strong start in the second half, man. As you can see, 10 minutes into it, Martinelli, Jesus, Zinchenko all involved. Fabio Vieira's knocked it into a good area. Odegaard's tapped home, man. Good team move. And as you can see, Martinelli's gone central. Martinelli's done very well. As I said, Martinelli's had a hand to play in both goals, and he's not been terrible, but it's more about the collective than the individuals today. He's been involved in 2 decisive moments, and sometimes a couple of other players the same, and that's sometimes all you need. Vieira take a bow as well, man. He did very well since coming off the bench. I think he took a while to get up to speed with things, but once he did, he didn't look back in it. So, you know, fundamentally clean sheet, 3 points. Happy guys and girls out there. We can watch match of the day. I think this is the most match of the days I've watched on replay because I've been missing. Partey was good today as well. I think Partey is never going to get the praise. Partey wasn't great. I think you need to watch the game again. He had a couple of misplaced passes, but Partey was very good today. Very good. He's not going to get the praise when Odegaard scored 2, when I've just been praising Martinelli and the rest of them, but he's been bloody good. Look at him in the build-up to the second goal. Who's played it to the left-hand side initially for Martinelli? Before this Wolves defender, I'm watching it again, before this Wolves defender's gone to sleep, and then obviously Zinchenko's made the overlap. Martinelli's found him, and he's continued his run. He's had the effort. Sar's made a good save. Unfortunately for him, it's fallen to Odegaard, who's taken a touch to set himself, and he's caressed it into their goal. I'm sorry. I welcome everyone's opinions. No one's right. No one's wrong. Watch that game again and tell me Partey weren't fucking fantastic. Please. I dare you. Please. Please. We do look like children. Partey's a chaperone still. And you know what? I hope there's nothing serious with Granit, because he's got a World Cup to play and we need him as well. As well, on top of that as well, you lot people, how many likes did that say? 340. The target was 100. So thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. I literally prayed for days like this since I was 15. I'm 31 years old, man. Now scaring my family. James, scare them, man. Don't need to score, teams come first. Of course it comes first, but he still needs to score. Goals win games, you know. It's not always going to be Odegaard and young players. Jesus' job primarily is to score goals. Yes, in the current function, he's a team player, but he needs to score goals. 10 games is unacceptable for someone with his quality. He has affected the game, sometimes with assisting, sometimes without goals and assists. His pressing is infectious. His general play is immaculate. He's a lovely player, Jesus. But you need to do all of that and score goals. It's as simple as that. We can shape it up as much ways as we want. We can lie to ourselves. The man needs to score goals. Just like Odegaard, there's games where I would more want you to dictate the tempo of the game, but we need you to pop up with goals and assists. But Jesus is there to score goals. Listen to the way the man speaks himself. He's never going to do it, but he's spoken of wanting to win golden boots. He said strikers primarily goals. As great as he is, I'm sure any striker does not want to be referred to as the best defensive forward in the world. It's great praise to be praised by Pep Guardiola. The team does come first, but two truths can live in the same realm. He does need to score. Fortunately, today, he didn't need to, because he done what you're saying, but he does need to score. Let's cut the bullshit. Let's not lie to ourselves, bro. Big up DG, love the streams, loving the energy around this club. Amen. Partey's brilliant, so cool on the ball and with his positioning. DG, I think we should get a goal scoring winger like Son in the front three. I mean, it's easier said than done, but bring that, bro. Bring up American Gooner. In my opinion, the change of formation at halftime changed the game. Arteta, my gaffer. Amen. I already saw that. Hey, Eddie will score more goals than Jesus. Team will score more with Jesus. I mean, if Eddie's scoring more goals than Jesus again, we're in trouble, because Jesus is going to play significantly more minutes. But I mean, if Jesus doesn't score to the end of the season and we stay where we are in the title race, allegedly, or we get minimum top 4 and better, I'm a happy man. Listen, we enjoy your Christmas dinners, but there's a lot of football to be played. I'm not trying to be that guy, but the job isn't done. We enjoy today. Those of you that are going off to the World Cup, go and enjoy your World Cup. For the rest of the boys, switch on, because it's not done. It is not done. By all means, start all that celebration stuff in May. It's been a good season so far. But you've seen us put runs of form together. And we got a lot of football. Boxing Day, West Ham away, Brighton the next day on New Year's. Then you've got Newcastle on the 3rd of January, which you don't want to play them home or away. To make matters worse, you've then got to go and do the North London derby. 21st of Jan, you've got Man United at home. Then you've got Everton away in February. And then, yeah, man, then you'd expect we need to be picking up points against Brentford away at Villa, away at Leicester, Bournemouth, Fulham, Palace at home, Fulham away. So there's a lot of things to be done. Clean sheets are racking up. And as I said, man, the most encouraging thing is I personally think generally we need to go up several gears where defending and scoring is. But the positive signs are there. And, you know, we're not all the way there yet. We're improving. Just keep doing what we're doing, man. Happy, man. Let's see when the Prem starts. I don't know if that's when it really starts, but yeah, man. All jokes aside, good win, DG. 5 points ahead going into the break. I can't lie. As much as I always bad at you, man, I said it before. I'd rather see y'all win the league. I'm tired of City. I hear that, man. Hector, calm down, man. Just keep... Bro, you're crying, bro. Why don't you keep saying imagine? How much time are you going to type imagine Arsenal winning the league? I'm not having issues with Jesus scoring. Like, he's done his thing. Are we listening or are we just chatting shit? Now, this is where I start getting pissed off because man are not listening. Two truths can live in one realm. I have praised Jesus today. I think he's one of our best players on the pitch, especially the second half. But he's good enough to score goals, and he should score goals. If that's a problem, you're going to have to shoot me. We can support Quincy, but we can have an opinion. Like, are we listening, or we just not? Are we just talking? It's taking you a while to type in paragraphs. Are we listening or talking? Come on now, man. Please. Please. He's never been a great finisher, but we either going to have to bring one in, and that was the carrot. You can fight me for it, but you can hear Mikel Arteta say it. The man himself, the horse's mouth. But collective comes first. Bro, as we said, the problem that we had with Aubameyang is Aubameyang will score goals, general play, not really bring anything. Lacazette had general play, not really scoring goals. Jesus can affect the game without scoring, but we need my man to score goals. He's got the potential to do it. He's playing fucking brilliant, but he's good enough to score goals. Like, bro, he's doing everything else I demand of him. There's been games he scored and not been as good as games he hasn't. He's been amazing. You can't tell me that man who is scoring them instinctive finishes against Leicester can't bag more goals, blood. You can't tell me that. This man will score goals, and he can. So you're going to have to shoot me. If that's a crime saying that, shoot me, take me to prison. Put me on HMP. So, yeah, man. We didn't just get him to score goals. We got him to do this system stuff that Arteta demands, which he's doing amazing, but the goals happen. Such a good player, man. Such a good player, man. But he can score goals. Ah, bro, what is so wrong with that? Like, man, you know what? I'm not right by any stretch of the imagination. I welcome diverse opinions. But what is so wrong with saying I love what Jesus brings to the table, but he has the capacity to score goals and should score more. I'm not going to ask more of someone that I don't believe it. Shoot me, take me to prison, man. The fuck? He's never going to stay in the box because that's not blessing. That's not what's demanded of him. I'd say the thing I like this season is where on another day we probably draw this game or we score in the second half and they equalize and we've got the results. Like, as much as I'm happy to beat Liverpool, Spurs, and Chelsea, it's the Leeds away. It's okay. We weren't quite the Leeds away today, but it's them games there that make and break your season. And again, what we've shown so far, if we can take that to the Anfields, to the Etihads, to the Brightons, to the Shite Hart Lanes, to the Newcastle, home and away on that, and many more, should be all right. But it's only the halfway point in the season. So let's enjoy the mental rest, and obviously a bit selfishly, I hope Martinelli plays minutes at the World Cup, and Ben White, but a bit selfishly, them two Ramsdale, they might not necessarily be main players like that for their country. So I know they're still training and whatnot, but they might be given a breather. And the players that aren't involved, Arteta's got time to work on tactics, to review every game up until this point and see how good we've got, how good we can get. We need to take the great and make good and make it great. And there's evident areas for improvement. The positive signs are there. Have to keep going, man. So, yeah, we enjoy what's left. Smith versus Benjamin. This boxing game is they're trying to box each other's heads off. Yeah, he's never been clinical. Your take on the England squad, bit of a nonsense, really, but I'm not really up for it. I think Tomori could find himself done dirty. I think Tony should be there, but yeah, man, you do worry about some of the physical conditioning of a couple of players. But it is what it is, man. Yeah, again, many goals do come from Jesus' play, but we can still score goals, bro. This looks like Lokonga just got left at home. Again, I want to know what's going on with Lukonga, and I also want to know the status of Granit Xhaka. We didn't play our best, but we got the job done, man. Sometimes you play well and win. Sometimes you do results like I wouldn't say it was terrible today, but we done what we needed to do, man. There's nothing else to say on that, really. Like, there's nothing more that could be said. That happy guy. So with that, should we talk about potential player ratings and all of those sort of things, people?